12 or 14, I think it's 12 plus Wikimedia meetups between last March and November, which has actually accelerated the growth of number of people coming in and editing Wikipedia. Again, collaboration, and I think it was end of 2008 or beginning of 2009, the government has decided to dedicate their encyclopedia project called the Sarvajnana project, which was running since 1978 or something. They have decided to donate the whole articles into Wikipedia. So we are still debating on how best to use it, but that's a good way. We have included all the inscripts and the inscript and the translate typing tools in. We have multiple typing tools in at this point. We are providing better tools for everyone. And this is the CD that we released last year, and the CD is freely downloadable from the mlwiki.in. And there is a group, the Free Malayalam Computing group called Swatandra Malayalam Computing. They actually helped us write a tool to actually extract the Wikipedia articles from Wiki and produce it into CD. So this could be useful for all the non-Latin languages if you guys are interested in. That's Jimmy holding that CD in the last Wikimania. So just put it out. I thought these are the sister projects. Sister projects are still very small. If you look at it, it's nowhere near. Probably the biggest of the lot will be the Wiktionary project, which is roughly 60,000 words at this point. But the rest are actually still in the process of getting more people in to work on and grow them to a better situation. Again, the same items, more meetups. These are being planned at this point and executed almost on a monthly basis across the states, I mean across the districts in the state, as well as outside where you have more Wikimedians available. And there are a lot of people actually who are very dedicated to work with all this and do this. That's it. Any questions?
I know we're running a little late, so we can go till 3:45 or so. Take a break and then do trivia.
I'm facilitator for Wikimedia Foundation's Public Policy Initiative, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Wikipedia Ambassador Program. So the Wikipedia Ambassador Program is something that we started about 7 months ago as part of an effort, a grant project, to make it easier to use Wikipedia as a teaching tool. So the basic idea is working with professors who want to use Wikipedia assignments in the classroom. And so through that, the central part of that is the Wikipedia Ambassador Program. And it started out with having two roles: campus ambassadors and online ambassadors that we found people for and started organizing. And so we have campus ambassadors, who are people who go into classrooms who are local to some university, and they go in and teach students the basics of Wikipedia. So they go in and give a brief presentation about how to edit Wikipedia, and they're there to be an in-person answer to when students have questions, when they get confused when they first start typing in. And so that makes a huge difference versus only talking with people online. When they actually have someone there walking them through and walking the professors through, this is something that is pretty huge in terms of making this kind of thing accessible to students and to professors. And then the counterpart to the campus ambassadors, we have the role of online ambassadors, who are experienced Wikipedians who are on the wiki helping students as they get started, making sure that they don't fall into the classic newbie mistakes, making sure that the system treats them a little more gently, that they get pointed in the right direction when they start to go wrong, because we know these people are there for a good reason. They have to edit, so they're going to try their best. They're getting graded on it, so we know what to expect, and so we can understand sort of the pitfalls that they're going to see and help them avoid them. So those are sort of the starting point for the Wikipedia Ambassador Program. We have these two roles, and we trained people in person to be campus ambassadors, and we've sort of laid out resources and started to put together a little bit of ideas for online training for online ambassadors, although most of the online ambassadors are sort of experienced Wikipedians already who know the ropes and can do that role pretty well. We're also talking about expanding it. So things are in motion to have GLAM ambassadors, to have ambassadors who are representatives of Wikipedia who work with galleries, libraries, archives, museums. And so Liam Wyatt is starting to get some organizational backing to this and getting all our ducks in a row so that we can get people all over doing that kind of role. Is going to be working with the Wikipedia Ambassador Program to develop the GLAM ambassador role. And we have other ambitions as well. So this is the part where there was a slide that said, it said GLAM ambassadors, and then I talk about how we have bigger ambitions of ambassadors to other kinds of things. And then I wasn't going to say anything, but the slide was going to say, Wikipedia ambassador to the United Nations. So that's the idea of, there are a lot of cultural institutions and civic institutions and groups and all kinds of things where having some sort of a formal contact with Wikipedia would be a benefit to both of them. And so we want to try to develop those roles so that people can step up into them. And the premise of my talk is that the Wikipedia Ambassador Program can and hopefully will solve Wikipedia's biggest problems. So Wikipedia's biggest problem, some of Wikipedia's biggest problems are, it's hard to get started. This is the obvious one, and this is where online ambassadors, campus ambassadors, other kinds of ambassadors have an obvious role to help people get started, give them a gentle introduction, and we're also producing more tutorial material that is sort of tailored to specific audiences, this kind of thing. So that's an obvious need. A second big problem that I think that the Wikipedia Ambassador Program can solve is that not just that it's hard to get started, but we like to bite newbies. They are delicious. And we bite them. And some people have sort of argued that this is, a fundamental reflection of how Wikipedians are. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that Wikipedians are sort of like out to get the newbies. Our culture that we've developed is sort of a reaction to the kinds of things that Wikipedians see on a daily basis. So when you see people coming in and they are, making the same errors over and over, and there's various ways that you could try to deal with that, but what ends up happening is that our culture and our policies and all the things on the site get developed to try to keep people from causing damage when they show up, because it is hard to learn, and so it's kind of like a screen that bounces back most of the people that don't sort of have the stick-to-itiveness to fight their way through the system. And so, just by default, we bite newbies, even if we're trying to be nice to them. So one of the things that the Wikipedia Ambassador Program does is it exposes many Wikipedians who are taking these ambassador roles to a different kind of newbie. A newbie that, because they're working on an assignment that lasts a whole semester and they have to contribute something to get a grade, it's a very different experience than the average random newbie, right? Like, putting in a little bit of effort to make things easy for them, to show them the ropes, to give them a gentle introduction, has a big payback. And so it's a lot more rewarding to put in the personal effort to help them, rather than create a system that can sort of sieve through the few who are willing to and bounce most of them away so that nobody has to deal with them at all, which is mostly what we do now. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, it's really hard to find your place on Wikipedia. People who like to edit Wikipedia, who like to spend their spare time writing articles, dealing with wiki markup, that kind of thing, that's not everyone. And that's not all the people who love Wikipedia, right? We have lots and lots of people out there, and this room is full of them, who have a lot of enthusiasm about Wikipedia, and maybe even would like to volunteer for it, would like to find a way that they could contribute to it. But the role of editor isn't really that appealing to them. They don't find it fun to do the kinds of detailed work that you do as an editor. And there's all kinds of different detailed work that people do as editors, and editors tend to find their own little niches. But you have to do that for yourself. There's no defined roles that you can say, well, now I've gotten started, but I want to do something different, or I want to do something more. What can I do now? And so having these ambassador roles is a way to sort of structure the experience where you can make a hole that someone